Hi, welcome back to a new episode of the Guns Book Club in the Book Club. Yeah. And today, guys, we're an extremely special episode because today, guys, we're on episode number 357, guys. 357, guys. Just so many episodes, and I really love it. So many episodes, guys. So I'm really proud of it. So, guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're only familiar with the channel, welcome back. My name is Zach, and I'm the host of the YouTube podcast, guys. We're working together on a English speaking level, and on our communication skills. Stay in front of the camera and to communicate well in front of the camera. And this is because I truly believe that English is the number one tool that teach one of us must acquire in order to be successful in life. And the second tool that is going to personality is in order to communicate well in front of the camera. And if you take those two skills and you can combine them together, you can create great content on the internet. And you can influence billions of people all around the world. So it's highly recommend to work on those two skills. And I hope that by sharing with you guys my own journey, my ups and downs, my fails, my success, how the obstacles that I was facing is that I was facing and I'm facing right now, from podcasting 5 episodes per week, and I overcome them, the life lessons and the tips that I learned during the process. I'm inspired people like you, the ladies and gentlemen, like you, that are watching the podcast to also do the same, to work in English and share your message with the world, inspire the world, and make a difference because I truly believe that it's important for you, and I truly believe that it's important that you will share your message with the world because you're unique and you matter, and you have a lot of things to say to the world and influence the world. So just do it. And today, guys, you see we got this nice teddy bear behind me. He's a little bit shy, so he come to the podcast and say, you saw me, you think he thought that he can hide and getting decided to sneak into the podcast. But I noticed him, and if you want to check him out, this cute teddy bear, we can find him on 3, 2, 1, bam, that's right. You can find him on Good Fun. That's right. And this background up to Good Fun Banana Zone is in Kitiara. On 4th and 5th of September 2020. And it's downloaded only 1,027 times, guys. So yeah. And of course, guys, we like the picture. And if you want to download the picture, just you need to choose the resolution from here. Press download. Right click on the picture, go to Shmirat Tunad B'Shem Melibu, and say pictures in English, and type down and comment below what it in language. And obviously, we need to guess from here on the board. It's going to be a really nice game. Press on it. Choose very much to save it on the computer. Press save and comment just like that. You will get this grand background on the computer. So thank you very much for the artist who made this grand background, and thank you very much for Kitiara for sharing this grand background with us. And today, guys, we continue our journey with influence of psychology of persuasion. Yeah, let's go. All big Cialdini. I really love the book. I enjoy it and learned so much from it. And today we're going to start chapter 3, a new chapter 3. It's going to be chapter 3, commitment and consistency. And guys, if you want to check out this grand background, or if you want to check out the book, excuse me, and over big Cialdini social media account, you got all the links in the description below, so make sure to check them out, like them, and learn from them, guys. Guys, if anyone of you have any suggestion for me, I can put myself on the podcast, or if anyone of you want to come to the podcast, be a guest of the podcast, share them with the one this point, make a difference because we're here. And we can them in English because I'm a really nice guy in English. Please tell me the comment below so we can arrange it. And of course, you're more than welcome if you learn something for the channel. Maybe something exactly from the book, or maybe you learn your own life lessons from somewhere else. Please feel free to share or share with us in the community. You are most welcome, guys, to share wisdom with us, with the community, all your wisdom in the comment section below, so that the community can enrich our life and improve ourselves thanks to your wisdom. So thank you very much if you can do it. And lastly, guys, before we move to the book, if you know the process, if you like the video and if you find it interesting, please consider to share your support and by liking the video, share it with friends, subscribe to the channel, and put the notification so you get the new channel extremely exciting episode like on YouTube. And then it's going to be 5 extremely exciting episodes per week. So make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, put the notification bell, and like and share it with your friend. Guys, it's really 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks from your own side, and it's really going to make a big impact on me. So thank you very much if you can consider to do it. And besides that, guys, if you like the video and share it with your friend, it's going to be impact the algorithm. So other people can watch it too. Like you enjoy the video, it's going to bring the video to distribute the video to other people around the world, so other people can enjoy the greatest podcast in the world. So thank you very much, guys. And today you can see the day today is 28th of March 2020. And subcon received already 2 subscribers of the greatest book club in the world, the IQ Book Club. Total views of the channel 318. And the current episode that they're going to be released today. Today it's Wednesday. It's going to be episode 324. So we are in advance of the episode. But I tell you, next week I'm not going to record because I'm going to the military. So it's going to come back. And this is why we have the safety in it. So yeah, let's go. And guys, now without any introduction, let's jump right into the book, the more development waiting for. So the influence, the power of persuasion, the psychology of persuasion. Page 53 to 56 by Robert Cialdini. Chapter 3, commitment and consistency. Upgoings of the mind. Mr. John, please. Mr. John, please. Mr. John, please. It's your boy, aka the one, yeah. Let's go. The greatest motivation can't count 4 times. That's me. By the way, guys, feel free. You got all the link to my social media accounts in the description below, so make sure to follow them also and enjoy them. It is easier to, Chapter 3, commitment and consistency. Goblins of the mind. It is easier to resist at the beginning than at the end. Leonardo da Vinci. A study done by a pair of Canadian psychologists uncovered something fascinating about people at the racetrack. Just after placing a bet, they are much more confident of their horses' chances of winning than they are immediately before laying down the bet. Of course, nothing about the horses' chances actually shifts. It's the same horse on the same track in the same field, but in the mind of those bettors, its prospects improve significantly once the ticket is purchased. Although a bit puzzling at first glance, the reason for the dramatic change has to be with a common weapon of social influence. Like the other weapons of influence, this one lies deep within us, directing our actions with quite power. It is, quite simply, our nearly obsessive desire to be and to appear consistent with what we have already done. Again, it is quite simply our nearly obsessive desire to be and to appear consistent with what we have already done. Once we have made a choice or taken a stand, we will encounter personal and interpersonal pressures to behave consistently with that commitment. Those pressures will cause us to respond in ways that justify our earlier decision. Take the bettors in the racetrack experiment. 30 seconds before putting down their money, they had been tentative and uncertain. 30 seconds after the deed, they were significantly more optimistic and self-assured. The act of making a final decision, in this case, of buying a ticket, had been the critical factor. Once a stand had been taken, the need for consistency pressured those people to bring what they felt and believed into line with what they had already done. They simply convinced themselves that they had made the right choice and, no doubt, felt better about it all. Before we see such self-delusion as unique to racetrack habitus, we should examine the story of my neighbor Sarah and their living boyfriend Tim. They met at a hospital where he worked as an X-ray technician, and she is a nutritionist. They dated for a while, even after Tim lost his job, and eventually they moved in together. Things were never perfect for Sarah. She wanted him to marry her and to stop his heavy drinking. Team resisted both ideas. After an especially difficult period of conflict, Sarah broke off the relationship, and the team moved out. At the same time, an old boyfriend of Sarah's returned to town after years away and called her. They started seeing each other socially and quickly became serious enough to plan a wedding. They had gone so far as to set a date and issue invitations when Tim called. He had pended and wanted to move back in. When Sarah told him her marriage plans, he begged her to change her mind. He wanted to be together with her as before. But Sarah refused, saying she didn't want to live like that again. Tim even offered to marry her, but she still said she preferred the other boyfriend. Finally, Tim volunteered to quit drinking if she would only relent. Feeling that under those conditions, Tim had the edge. Sarah decided to break her engagement. Damn! Cancel the wedding, retracts the invitations, and let him move back in with her. And let him move back in with her. Within a month, Tim informed Sarah that he didn't think he needed to stop his drinking after all. A month later, he had decided that they should wait and see before getting married. 2 years have since passed. Two years have since passed. Tim and Sarah continue to live together exactly as before. He still drinks. He still drinks. There are still no marriage plans. Yet Sarah is more devoted to Tim than she ever was. She says that being forced to choose tougher, taught her that Tim really is number one in her round. So after choosing Tim over her other boyfriend, Sarah became happier with him, even though the conditions under which she had made her choice have never been fulfilled. Obviously, horses bettors are not alone in their willingness to believe in the correctness of a difficult choice once made. Indeed, we all fool ourselves from time to time in order to keep our thoughts and beliefs consistent with what we have already done or decided. Psychologists have long, again, indeed, because it's important to read. Indeed, we all fool ourselves from time to time in order to keep our thoughts and beliefs consistent with what we have already done or decided. Psychologists have long understood the power of the consistency principle to direct human action. Prominent theorists such as Leon Festinger, Fritz Heider, and Theodore Newcomb viewed the desire for consistency as a central motivator for our behavior. But is this tendency to be consistent really strong enough to compel us to do what we ordinarily would not want to do? There is no question about it. The drive to be and look consistent, continuous, a highly potent weapon of social influence, often causing us to act in ways that are clearly contrary to our own best interests. Take as proof what happened when psychologist Thomas Moriarty staged death on New York City beach to see if onlookers would risk personal harm to help the crime. In the study, research complice would put a beach blanket would put a beach blanket down 5 feet from the blanket with a randomly chosen individual, the experimental subject. After a couple of minutes on the blanket On the blanket spent relaxing and listening to music from a portable radio. The companions would stand up and leave the blanket to stroll down the beach. A few minutes later, a second researcher, pretending to be a thief, would approach, grab the radio, and try to hurry away with it. As you might guess, under normal conditions, subjects were very reluctant to put themselves in harm's way by challenging the thief. Only four people did so. Only four people did so in the 20 times. The thief was staged. The thief was staged. But then the same procedure was tried another 20 times. With a slight twist, the results were drastically different. In those incidents, before taking his stroll, the compliance would simply ask the subject to please watch my things, which each of them agreed to do. Now, propelled by the rule for consistency, 19 of the 20 subjects became virtual vigilants, running after and stopping the thief, demanding an explanation, and often restraining the thief physically or snatching the radio away. To understand why consistency is so powerful a motive, it is important to recognize that in most circumstances, consistency is valued and adaptive. Inconsistency is commonly thought to be an undesirable personality trait. The person whose beliefs, words, and deeds don't match might be seen as indecisive, confused, two-faced, or even mentally ill. On the other side, a high degree of consistency is normally associated with personal and intellectual strength. It is at the heart of logic, rationality, stability, and honesty. A quote attributed to the great British chemist Michael Faraday suggests the extent to which being consistent is approved, sometimes more than being right. When asked after a lecture if he meant to imply that a hated academic rival was always wrong, Faraday glowered at the questioner and replied, "He is not that consistent. He is not that consistent." Certainly, then, good personal consistency is highly valued in our culture, and where it should be. It provides us with a reasonable and gainful orientation to the world. Most of the time, we will be better off if our approach to things is well laced with consistency. Without it, our lives would be difficult, erratic, and disjointed. But because it is so typically in our best interest to be consistent, we easily fall into the habit of being automatically so, even in situations where it is not the sensible way to be. When it occurs unthinkingly, consistency can be disastrous. Nonetheless, even a blind consistency has its attractions. First, like most other forms of automatic responding, it offers a shortcut through the density of modern life. Once we have made up our minds about an issue, stubborn consistency allows us a very appealing luxury. We really don't have to think hard about the issue anymore. We don't have to sift through the blizzard of information we encounter every day to identify relevant effects. We don't have to expend the mental energy to weigh the pros and cons. We don't have to make any further tough decisions. Instead, all we have to do when confronted with the issue is to turn on our consistency tape wheel, and we know just what to believe, say, or do. We need only believe, say or do whatever is consistent with our earlier decision. The allure of such a luxury is not to be minimized. It allows us a convenient, relatively effortless, and efficient method for dealing with complex daily environments that make serve the demands on our mental energies and capacities. It is not hard to understand then why automatic consistency is a difficult reaction to carb. It offers us a way to evade the rigors of continuing thought. And as Sir Joshua Reynolds noted, there is no expedient to which a man will not resort to avoid the real labor of thinking. With our consistency tapes operating then, we can go about our business happily execute from the toil of having to think too much. There is a second, more perverse attraction of mechanical consistency as well. Sometimes it is not the effort of hard cognitive work that makes us shirk thoughtful activity, but the harsh consequences of that activity. Sometimes it is the constantly clear and unwelcome set of answers provided by straight thinking that makes us mental slackers. There are certain these rubbing things we simply would rather not realize, because it is pre-programmed and mindless method of responding. Automatic consistency can supply a safe hiding place from those troubling realizations. Sealed within the fortress walls of rigid consistency, we can be improved. We can be impervious to the sieges of rhythm. One night at an introductory lecture given by the transcendental meditation TM program, I witnessed a nice illustration of how people will hide inside the walls of consistency to protect themselves from the troublesome consequences of thought. The lecture itself was presided over by two earnest young men and was designed to recruit new members into the program. The program claimed it could teach a unique brand of meditation that would allow us to achieve all manner of desirable things, ranging from simple inner peace to the more spectacular abilities to fly and pass through walls at the program advanced and more expensive stages. Guess what? This is the end of the episode. Guys, thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate the fact that you choose to invest your time with me. And I can't wait to see you all in tomorrow's episode, guys. With a great book club in the board, Zaki Book Club. Until then, have a great time. Take care safe and bye-bye. So guys, today it's Wednesday, 28 on March. I forgot to change the date. It's 30. Today it's 30. It's 30, guys. Today it's 30. So we need to fix it. No, it's okay, guys. 20 on March 2022, and time now it's 17:20, and I enjoyed the episode, and I continue to hear Bad Bunny, the Kita. I love it. יום רביעי, 30/3/2022, שעכשיו ב-5:20, ועכשיו יש לנו עוד מעט, ב-6:30 זה ההרצאה, ואז אחרי זה יש לנו ערב גבינות, הולכים לשתות ליהנות, כי אני אוכל גבינה, אני אקבל שם גבינה. רוצים לבוא נהנה, נתלבש יפה יותר, ונבוא נהנה. היה שבוע במילים, צריך לראות לכם מגיע לשם. יאללה, בהצלחה. נתראות.